I get very invested in the places where I metal detect. It starts when there is a name staring at me from the 1800s on a map, and it grows when we start finding relics, valuable, personal, even common in everyday use. I want to know who used those items, whose fingers touched the buttons we found, who played the harmonica by lamplight that cast music through the house, whose only other sound was the squeaking of the floorboards, and who used a silver thimble, both beautiful and functional. I have kind of a name to go by. That's all the map from 1872 tells me. But it doesn't take too long to find information about him. He's the Honorary Hugh Stuart, honorary because at one point he was elected as a judge. I take Jill, who had on our last metal detecting adventure found a silver thimble, to see the resting place of the Stuart family.
My camera's all wet. We're walking through this really cool cemetery, Jill and I, before we go out metal detecting. Here is Molly Pitcher's gravesite. Isn't this cool? She eventually moved to Carlisle. She was born in New Jersey, moved to Carlisle, and is buried here. But did you know this, that it's not during the Revolutionary War, there was a lot of women doing this, so Molly Pitcher is just a generic term. It's not necessarily just her, but she's the one, this Mary Macaulay, or Mary Hayes
Mary
here.
Hayes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're here to see. Come over this way. Now you probably haven't been invested in the research as much as I have.
Okay.
So there's a really good chance that one of the women here was the owner of your silver thimble.
Oh my god.
Isn't that crazy?
That's really funny.
So
Love it.
on the map, the Honorable Hugh Stuart, on our map, H Stuart.
That's pretty neat.
That was his house. Now this would be his parents, John and Barbara. They were born, I believe John, I might be getting this wrong because there are so many overlapping names that it gets really confusing, and I brought some paperwork with me so we can look at in the diner.
Okay.
But I believe this is his parents were born in, not his parents, but his grandparents. So his grandfather is Hugh Stuart, which makes it confusing. His grandfather and his grandmother, I believe, were born in Ireland and Scotland.
Typical of this area.
And then John is his father, and Barbara, I believe these are the father. And then here's the crazy thing. It's a little hard to read, but check this out. He has a wife, Sarah Ann, born in 1814, dies in 1843. He has a second wife, Esther, who dies in 1845. So I can only imagine she passes away, he remarries, she dies, like what, a year or two later.
Yep, that's it. Yeah.
And then he has a third wife, this Jane Mary, in 1897.
And she outlived him.
And she outlived him. So there's a chance that one of these three women owned your thimble. Now they go on to have a number of children.
I had visited the cemetery the day before I took Jill there. It wasn't raining that day, and I took a few photos of the resting place of the family that I was so curious about. An article about Hugh's passing reads, "In company with his wife, he was returning home from Carlisle in usual health and spirits when suddenly he complained of sickness, leaned heavily on his companion, and in a few minutes ceased to breathe. The death of Judge Stuart, under such circumstances, was a dreadful shock to our community. He was so well known and beloved by men of all parties and creeds that his death cast a shadow over every home in this region. His funeral on Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock was very generally attended, and when the funeral cortege, more than a mile in length, arrived at the old cemetery, nearly 1,000 people were in waiting to show their respect and affection for the departed. Further research of Hugh Stuart brings us to a case of murder by poisoning. More on that to come, but first, let's get out metal detecting.
Oh, I gotta clean off my, I got mist all over my lens. I'm doing my best to keep the lens clean. Just found, we're back out at this home site we've been at, and I just found this really nice, try to get focused, really nice piece of pottery. Yeah, that's cool. All right, here's more evidence. I'm finding little pieces of pottery, and here's a insert to a mason jar. So more evidence here of the home site. I mean, we're definitely where the Honorable Hugh Stuart lived. But now we just need to find some, I mean, these things are interesting here, but we need to find some coins or other items. We'll keep going. What do we got here? Oh, and a scutcheon. Oh, that's a nice one, actually.
Yeah, nice little piece.
Yeah, nice find, Raymond.
There you go.
It's something for the start of the day.
Right?
I don't know, last time we came through here, we found so much stuff here in like, what, 20 minutes, a half hour?
Right? All of us. And
Yeah.
now it's like,
All right.
Think you found it all?
All right.
nah.
No way. There's no way. All right. Let's find it. Making my way up to Billie Jean here. She yelled over and said she has a piece of thimble. Have you identified the material yet?
I can't tell.
Ah.
Shiny, but I don't know if it's silver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That makes
It looks kind of thin, doesn't it?
It's very thin.
Yeah, my guess is not silver, but
I can't
that's still an awesome find. I love finding thimbles.
tell.
Yeah.
Yay!
Sweet. Nice. Nice. All right, that means there's stuff still here.
Yeah. I'm hitting this little spot here where a lot of people just miss that.
Yeah. Nice. Little show and tell here.
Oops.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hoping get that focused. That is
That's cool.
sweet. And a little porcelain button there.
Yep.
Nice.
Thanks.
Nice.
Oh, it's got pretty little flower.
Look at her
back.
finding thimbles today. She's a
I wanna
thimble.
see
Oh, you wanna see it?
And I forgot to put my finds box in my bag.
Oh.
Like sticking in there, things in there. Oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah, cool. Yeah, I can't tell if it's silver.
I can.
Nice.
Wow, where's the bottom?
Nice.
of you? That's cool.
Billie Jean has something round. Oh, it's a button with the shank still intact. Nice.
Yay.
Anything on it? A little muddy.
No. Nope. It's
Nice though.
awesome.
Nice. So the Honorable Hugh Stuart and his family lived here, and you know, we're finding so many little pieces of pottery and stuff. They would have had some money for sure. You know, they're mentioned on the map as the Honorable H. Stuart. That's what his house site was listed as. You know, and these things are, you know, while they're not a value, monetary value, but there's, you know, so much history in this. Think of all the meals that were served in a bowl or a plate or dish that this was a part of. All the family conversations to be had. Maybe you have Hugh coming home from working at the courthouse here in Cumberland County, and you know, talk to his family about the trials and stuff that were happening. And this bowl was a part of those conversations, or was kind of a bystander to those conversations. Pretty interesting, and I'm finding a lot of pottery around here. I mean, it's not uncommon, but we did find a couple really nice pieces, so we'll keep going and hopefully put together more of this family story.
During the month of July 1868, the citizens of Carlisle became aware that another member of the medical profession had taken up his abode with them. One of the shutters on a modest-looking house on Pomfret Street bore the card Dr. P. Schoeppe, and as the name indicated, a foreigner. There was some curiosity manifested as to its owner, his age, appearance, and qualifications for the practice of his profession. Surely those with whom he associated in the summer and autumn of 1868 never dreamed that the young doctor, who was apparently patiently biding his time for a practice which would render him a livelihood, would within a year be charged with and convicted of the most atrocious of murders, or that his fate would become an object of interest to the entire Commonwealth and to many beyond its limits.
Well, this is an interesting little piece. I've found these like once or twice before. I believe what I have here is the top to a vial for probably dispensing insulin is my best guess. You see the little metal, but there's a little glass piece that's broken off. This would have been like a small little vial here about yay big. But interesting piece. Probably, well, this has to be in the 1900s. I don't know when these vials would have been started to have been used. But yeah, very interesting piece, but not quite what I'm looking for. Well, here's a fired slug. It's hard to get the mud off of everything here today. It was raining all morning here. Finally it's stopped, but yeah, you can see the impact on that. It's fairly modern. It's not going to be that old. Probably a farmer out here or a hunter. But yeah, I didn't find too many of these last time. I mean, we expect to find these like when we're out in a farm. Interesting find, but again, not quite what I'm looking for today. Just found my first horseshoe that I found in this area here. Not that surprising, but again, not quite what I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm looking for, actually. I don't think it's horseshoes. Well, no metal detecting trip is ever complete without at least one pull tab. This might be my second or third one so far, but oh well, we'll keep going. Oh, here's a interesting little find. One of the inside rails of a pocket knife. I believe that's what this is here. Yeah, this is part of a pocket knife. Might be kind of old. I don't know, I never know these things. We'll go see the others think here. What do you think, Chig? I always think these are more modern than they are, but I know some of them are pretty old, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they could be pre-Civil War for sure.
Yeah.
That design, you know, it looks like it's a pretty old design to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, most awesome. Sound good?
Sounded good, yeah.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Good find.
Maria M. Steinnecke was born in the town of Carlisle in the year 1799, in the house now standing on the corner of Hanover and Pomfret Streets. Soon after her birth, her father died, when her mother removed to the city of Baltimore, in which she had, until her death, resided. She was about 5 feet 4 inches in height, and well proportioned, and in her younger days was said to be a very handsome woman. Her disposition of late years has been very variable, sometimes being social and seeking society, at others scarcely treating civilly those about her. She had but few relatives, and these she treated distantly, scarcely ever visiting or corresponding with them. In the early parts of August 1868, she visited Carlisle, boarding at Mrs. Wood's on Pomfret Street, but a few doors from the office of Dr. Schoeppe. Soon after her arrival, she complained of feeling unwell, and thought she had better consult a physician. Dr. Schoeppe's office being so near, and she having no regular physician in this place, naturally consulted him in regard to her illness. From this professional visit their acquaintance first began, and continued from that time until her departure to Baltimore sometime in October. Strange as it may seem, Dr. Schoeppe's attention to Miss Steinnecke after a time changed from those of medical attendant to those of a lover, as will be seen by reference to a letter written to her by the doctor soon after her return to Baltimore, and which is given entire on page 24 of this book. Miss Steinnecke returned to Carlisle sometime in December of 1868, and boarded at Mr. Hannon's hotel on Main Street for a short time, when she removed to the mansion house kept by Mr. Burkholder. While here, a marriage contract was drawn and signed by Dr. Schoeppe, he promising to marry Miss Steinnecke for certain considerations. On Wednesday, the 27th day of January, 1869, Miss Steinnecke became ill, and under the attendance of Dr. Schoeppe, she grew worse until about 10 o'clock on the evening of the following day, when she died.
All right, I just dug what I believe is going to be part of a toe tap. It's mangled up, and this would have been like kind of arched and gone on the front of a shoe to help protect it. And the reason I think it's a toe tap, although I might be wrong here, but yeah, no, I think the reason is all these little tiny holes, a little hard to see there, but they would tack that into the front of the shoe to help protect it. And when we find these are usually in rough shape. But yeah, I'm quite certain that's what this is. But who knows? You never know. But yeah, I believe this is part of a toe tap, and just a small part. All right, we'll keep going. Well, I just dug my first piece of horse tack for the day. Could have been for various parts, but maybe part of the bit. Pretty common to find these. Sounded kind of good, I think because of the circular shape on it, but it's iron, so it did ring up low, but it was a nice crisp signal, so dug it, and there it is. All right, we got something around here. More than likely it's going to be a button. Let's see. That's a beautiful sight though, to see something around like that, isn't it, Jill? Look at that.
It is. Oh yeah.
I love seeing that. Now let's go show the other guys here before we unveil it. I don't think it's anything super spectacular, but it's always great when you see that in the clump like that. Isn't that cool? I think it's a button.
It's a flat button.
Yeah.
I think it's a button.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just like breeding. Has he got anything?
I don't think so.
No.
I got a pocket instead of a pocket knife.
Idea. She wants to head to some areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he might be finding. He's digging targets out there. Raymond is.
All right, let's see what we got. Oh yeah.
Oh no, I dug down in. I didn't see
It's
nothing.
a button.
It's like little grass stuff.
A little shank in the back. I'll take it though. That's the first
First
decent find I got today. Yeah. Oh, a flatty button. I just love when you have it in the plug there like that.
Patrick just called us over. He got a nice flat button. 30s probably, Jill? Early 1800s, you think?
Jill's our button expert.
I think it's early 1800s. Nice. Good job, Patrick.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Little flat button.
Little button.
All
Yep,
right.
shank's still on there.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyone else? Gold coins, silver coins?
No, nothing. I got like.
I think they're up there. They're up there. We're gonna make our way up that way.
We're talking about heading to the other.
All right. I think I got a chain in the ground here. Let me go see if this is gonna pull out easy or not. There we go. Oh, not too bad. Interesting old chain here.
Also, be careful. I had a target sticking to my shovel.
Oh yeah.
Modern penny.
A modern penny.
Yeah, I was getting a good signal, and I dug, and then I looked over, and it's like stuck there.
Yeah.
So when you have this real sticky, muddy soil,
That happens.
your target
Yeah.
can stick to your shovel.
Here you go, Mike. Do you want a chain?
No.
I don't think it's that old.
Oh.
All right. Let me get my camera out here. This is a really nice sign. If you can see that in the hole there. And make sure my camera doesn't have mist on it. That looks good. Look at that. It's a really nice, there's a really nice buckle right there. Let me hold it up here. Oh, that's a beautiful buckle. Yes. I'll take that. It's been a slow day for us here, and that's always a welcome sign. I love finding these buckles. Buckles and buttons, and yeah, that's a great one. Awesome. All right, we'll keep going here. That might be filled with gold.
I don't know. It might be.
Either that or some old dirt.
Yeah, probably old dirt. It's
Probably
got the
dirt.
hinge on the side of it there. So
Yeah, those are cool.
We'll crack her open after a while. There's a hinge.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're making our way to another area of this farm that we haven't been to before. There's some houses that were up on the other end, and not a ton of places to park around here, so we're just walking up. And it doesn't hurt to scan the field. You just never know if there's an old home site somewhere. So we're listening for nails and looking for signs of home sites, and just got a signal here. I'm just turning around here. Yeah, it's like a if I had to guess, this is gonna be a can, but I'm gonna dig it just because we're in the middle of nowhere and we want to see what this is. But I think it's sounding like a can, and there are so many cans here. So let's see. Do a little live dig.
Yeah, well, it's right there.
Yep, there's the can. You can see it popped right out right there. Go down and get that. Yep. Unfortunate, but that's just a part of this. So let me fill my hole back in. And yeah, you can see here we got Mike and Raymond over there. They're scanning. Aqua Chigger's, I think, doing circles over there. So I think he's, you know, he's doing what I'm talking about. We're just listening for a lot of iron signals, and if you find an old home site, there very well could be home sites that weren't on the 1800s maps. It's possible there were 1700s homes in the area, or early 1800s, or, you know, as they were building some of the houses that we're detecting at, maybe they built a temporary house somewhere. So you just don't know. The other thing that's a possibility here is the Civil War troop movement in the area. There was a lot of troops, a lot of Confederate troops and Union troops in and around Carlisle, and making their way from Carlisle to Gettysburg. So that last time we were here, Mike found that nice Civil War bullet. So that's a sign that there could have been some troop movement. So if you're lucky, you find a campsite where, you know, a couple hundred or even a couple thousand troops stayed overnight. And if you're lucky, you find some drop bullets and some other artifacts. So that's all we're doing, is making our way around. All right, well, if we'll find anything, we will be back. Well, I'm making my way across the field here, and truth be told, I'm trying to beeline over there to the trees to take a little pit stop, and I stumbled upon this little guy. Oh, that had to be really recent. Oh, wow, look at that little guy. Poor thing. I'm not sure what happened to it, but very interesting. Look at the little tail on that guy. He is tiny. Look at how tiny that thing is. That poor guy. Alrighty. I just called Chig over. I thought he'd be interested in seeing this. Yeah. I have no idea how I spotted that walking across this field, but I don't know. You be the judge if this is interesting or not. I don't know. I have no idea. I was just saying in my video, I was making my way over there to take a pit stop, and I have no idea how I spotted this thing. But look at this poor little guy. Look at him. How tiny that thing is. I thought you'd be interested in seeing that.
Poor little dude. Is he dead?
I'm pretty sure he is.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Oh, he's a little stiff there too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Kind of weird how they just like croak like that, but
yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's these groundhog holes here and stuff. Yeah.
That's a little house right there.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping it was going to be a gold coin.
Sorry.
Instead, it was a dead mouse.
I thought you'd be interested in seeing it anyway.
You see those videos like over in Ukraine where they're fighting?
Yeah.
There's like the mice. There's thousands of mice in the foxes, foxes holes, trenches. You haven't seen any of those?
I haven't. That'd be disgusting, actually.
Yeah, it's like the soldiers will like move their jacket, and underneath it'd be 100 mice just scurrying around. It's like absolutely crazy.
That wouldn't be good.
But yeah, poor little field mouse.
Yep.
I think we'll leave him there.
Yes, we will. Well, when you're metal detecting and you see an arrow, I think you got to follow it. I think somewhere in a straight line. Now I can't go, and that's a property up there I don't have access to. I don't have permission, but I can walk to the edge here. I think that's a sign that that's the direction I need to go in. All right, let's go see what we find in that direction. All right, these things are just everywhere. I think there's gonna be one of these good luck arcade tokens. I'm a little confused by, oh no, wait. Oh, this is interesting. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this on there, but I think this is going to be a railroad token.
Ooh.
There's, I think, PRR on there.
No, really?
I'm pretty sure that's what this is.
Oh, cool.
But this looks like one of these arcade tokens where you'd punch your name in it.
Yep.
So maybe they had one with the railroad.
Good possibility.
Let me get this cleaned up because there's some stuff on here. All right, got this cleaned up a little bit more. It definitely is Pennsylvania Railroad on here. So this was probably a token that you would buy and engrave on some train station somewhere. That's my guess. And it looks like it says, like, I don't know, I'm reading like Pam and Sue in there. It's all bent up. And there's some more in there, so I still have to get it more cleaned up here. But it's an interesting find. I have a lot of these arcade tokens from my hotspot. I have found so many of these, but they're interesting to find. But the problem is when you hear them, they sound really good. And then when you start seeing around, now this one was all bent up. When you start seeing around shape, you think you have a coin, and it turns out to be one of these tokens. But these are cool because these connect to people. So. All right, we'll keep going. All right, Jill was just asking if I found a gilt button, because every time I find a gilt button, what I think is just beautiful, she turns around and finds a large cent or 2 cents to top my find, but I didn't find a button, so maybe that means I'm about to find one.
That's true.
Nice, Jill.
If there's any detail, I don't know.
Is it me or does it seem small for a large cent?
Does it?
I don't know.
It's definitely got the
I
thickness.
keep finding these odd shaped cents.
It was under a rock.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, the detectors go right through rocks.
I know they do. Can you see something?
So, I need a hand.
Doing the old light on the side trick.
Any detail at all?
Is that a bust coming through on that side?
Looks like something.
It looks like something facing right.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Right.
I think.
Or almost matches your fingernail polish there, Billie Jean.
It does.
Or, see, I can't tell either without glasses.
Oh, no.
We all suck.
We're terrible.
We all suck. I'll get it cleaned up and see if there's anything tonight.
Awesome. All right, there's coins here.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
So we know, we thought this was a newer area right here, didn't we? We knew that one was 1800s.
Well, this one is here longer. They took that one down before because this shows up on the early 1900s aerials, but that doesn't.
Okay.
But this was on the 1872 map, just the same as that property, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can see how deep it was.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, let's go. All right, I finally got a coin. It is a weed cent. I will take it for sure. I was hoping for something a little bit better or older, but I will take a weed cent any day of the week. Yeah, I'll add it to my book. All right, be back with next time. I'm predicting a silver coin. It's a pocket knife kind of day. Here's my second one. As I mentioned earlier, I never know the ages on these things, but yeah, we'll keep going. Well, the sun's going down a little bit. It's been kind of a dreary day all day. And it seems kind of fitting that I found this piece here. I believe this to be a lantern wick holder. I believe that the wick would come up through here. So I think that's what that is. But yeah, maybe I'll use it to light up as I go here. I want to get every last ounce of the daylight out as possible.
By now you might be wondering about Dr. Schoeppe. What happened to him and why did I even bring that information up in this video? Dr. Schoeppe was a bit questionable. A will appeared in his handwriting after Steinnecke's death, which raised so much suspicion that her body was exhumed and found to have been poisoned. Dr. Schoeppe was tried in Carlisle and found guilty of her murder and sentenced to be hanged. Well, Hugh Stuart, whose grave we visited earlier, whose 1800s home we detected, was an associate judge on that case. Hugh Stuart would have traveled just over 2 miles to get from his home to the courthouse in Carlisle. He would have walked through these very doors. Several years prior to the case, the Confederate Army bombed the city of Carlisle. Scars from that bombing are still visible on that courthouse. Hugh lived through those events. Hugh would have witnessed this case that was very newsworthy at the time. He would have heard citizens outside the courthouse chanting for Dr. Schoeppe's death as the jury deliberated. And I have to believe he would have brought stories from the courthouse home. Dr. Schoeppe was later retried under a different judge and was set free just before he was to be hung. There were some questions as to the validity of the autopsy and if she was truly poisoned or not. Dr. Schoeppe does go on to serve time in other states for other crimes, and it was later found out that he didn't have training to be a doctor. Certainly, he was a suspicious person. And as for Hugh Stuart, he would one day be traveling home, probably on the roads I used to get from breakfast to the fields I would detect at, and he quite suddenly died.